right, so it's Christmas time, and Larry Nichols is with me. We've got a very special Christmas show for everybody here from Rockefeller Plaza. Larry, can you hear me?
I do indeed.
There you go.
Merry Christmas to you, Jason. Yes.
Merry Christmas to you, Larry.
Yes, Merry Christmas to you and to the audience.
Absolutely, Larry. It's great to have you with us. I think everybody is delighted to hear from you on this Christmas. And I've got a picture of you in a lovely Christmas hat here on Christmas Day 2018. And of course, you're coming to us from Arkansas. You've got some family to go see later today. And, you know, Larry, a lot of people maybe haven't been to New York City, and so I'm just here in Rockefeller Plaza, where, of course, they have the famous tree. Have you ever been to New York, Larry?
Oh, yes. Yes, I've been there. I haven't been during Christmas season. No, I have not seen that.
Yeah,
I'd
it's definitely...
To someday.
It's a hell of a thing. I mean, we've got a ton of people here checking out the tree. We've probably got some ice skaters down there. Now, Larry, it's an interesting question about the Rockefellers. We last week, we got some people, I think, getting ready to ice skate down there. Last week we saw this image of John Podesta with Lawrence Rockefeller, and he just looks so much like him. It's uncanny. And we've always heard these rumors about Bill Clinton and Lawrence Rockefeller. Is some mystery as to if there's a connection between those two men. And there's that famous picture of Hillary Clinton at the Rockefeller Ranch, I guess it is, receiving some book. What do we know about any possible connections between the Rockefellers and the Clintons?
You know, Jason, let me get one thing put to bed. Now, I'll tell you where I got the information.
Yeah.
So you take it for what it is. Winthrop Rockefeller is not Bill Clinton's father.
Okay.
I repeat, is not. His real father is William Fulbright, A.W. Fulbright. And if you think about that, that would explain why he was given a silver spoon all the way through the Fulbright College and all those.
Larry, sorry, there's something going on.
All the way to Oxford.
Sorry to interrupt, Larry, but there's something going on here. People are going crazy. I can't quite see what it is. Maybe somebody's out on the ice skating floor there, but there was some screaming.
Okay.
So, sorry, please carry on. You're saying the Fulbright scholarship?
Right. And now, where I got that, just so everybody knows, Bill Clinton told me.
Wow.
He told me. So you take it for what it's worth. That's what he told me.
Right.
Now, Winthrop Rockefeller and the Clintons calls a Fulbright, and you got to understand Arkansas in that day, everything, you know, all of the political figures would run together. So don't think it's any oddity that Hillary would be getting this, or they'd be at the ranch, or they'd be whatever. As a matter of fact, Bill Clinton put Paul Rockefeller, Rockefeller's son, on the state police commission. So,
wow.
No, they're just buds. It's a lot similar to what's going on in Washington. You know, you see the guys in Washington yelling at each other, going on these talk shows and talking bad about each other.
Right.
The folks, when the cameras are off, they're high-fiving each other and slapping each other on the back and going and having drinks.
Right.
They are not the bitter enemies that we think they are. They're just doing that for our benefit, acting.
It's kind of like professional wrestling.
Just thinking once in a while.
That's exactly what it is. And in politics, so you know, using professional wrestling, in politics, they refer to us, the average American, as the first three rows of a wrestling match. That's what they think of us. That's what they think of our mentality. And the reason they do that, folks, is because there are people that go to these professional wrestling matches, sit in the first three rows, obviously, Jason, if you're there, you're going to see them pulling back their punches. You're going to hear them calling for the next trick, right?
Right.
And so you see it. You know it's fake. But the first 3 vote people, they see it, and when they leave, they thought it was real.
Uh-huh.
They just thought it was real. So that's what they think we are. They think we're gullible. They think we're stupid.
Well, of course.
And to be honest, the way we have acted in the past few years or several years kind of owes up to their thoughts.
Well, what do you think we're going to see happening in 2019, Larry? Any predictions for the coming year?
There's no predicting. I know what's coming. Now, folks, I want to tell you something. Things I tell you about what's coming. It's not because I read it in a book. It's not because I saw it on the movie or on TV. I've seen this before in other parts of the world. All right? I've seen it. Now, what's going to happen almost instantly after this year turns into 2019, there is going to be a massive, multi-faceted attack on President Trump, Jason.
Yeah.
And they are going to go straight to the jugular for impeachment. Straight to the jugular. And let me tell you why they got to do that.
Yeah.
Do you want to know?
Please.
Well, the reason they've got to do it so fast, so early, folks, is because Trump, they cannot allow Trump to score another victory. You know, he's done several things that have worked out great, just like they were supposed to. And they can't run the risk of the American people seeing Trump saying, well, this is what I told you to do, here's what I did, and see it's working. They cannot allow that. So they've got to get him out of his stride, right out of the sheets, buddy. Right out of the sheets. And it's going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible. And he will be alone unless we, all of us listening to me now, unless we join with him and try to help him. We didn't elect Donald Trump to be Pope. All right, we didn't elect him to be the Pope. We elected a businessman versus a professional politician,
Right.
to see if we put somebody that has any kind of acumen other than politics since birth, could they make it work? And from what we've seen in his first 2 years, yes, it has worked. Now, the other thing you're going to see after the first of the year, it's going to be impossible almost for President Trump to appoint key people in his cabinet.
Yeah.
Almost impossible.
Just because so many
Think
people are
about that,
afraid of
folks.
getting indicted.
That you're gonna take a job with Trump, you better lawyer up first. And you better. Why would a successful person that we need in those positions, somebody that's been in the streets, knows what he's doing, why would anybody that has their money made, their life made, why would they get in to this arena with Trump and be literally destroyed?
Yeah, they've spent 2 years
Forever.
basically
Name
showing
every-
us.
Uh-huh. And I assure you, the Kavanaugh, confirmation hearing
Yes.
was the proof anybody needed. If you want to be around Trump, they'll get you. If you haven't done anything wrong, which is what I've told you, Jason, for years, it doesn't matter if you've done anything wrong or not. If you haven't, they'll make it up, right? You saw it right there in living color, right in front of you.
Now, Larry, we just heard the other day that Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who is 85, had some kind of lung surgery to remove some kind of cancerous something or other from her lungs. That sounds pretty serious. We know you've struggled with some health issues. Being 85 and having surgery, I don't know. What do we think about Ruth Bader Ginsburg returning to the Supreme Court?
I don't think she will. I think she's out, which ordinarily I would say would be great for the conservative movement to get another conservative possibly on the Supreme Court. However, when you look at the people we put on, Roberts, and even now, Kavanaugh, It looks like when they get there, all of a sudden they're not what we thought they were for our side.
Right.
You can't trust any of them in Washington. As long as they're an attorney, as long as they're coming from Washington, folks, you can't trust them. You can't trust them. They're part of the system. You know, Trump, people say, well, Trump picked him. Let me tell you how that works, Jason.
Yeah.
There's a committee. Trump has a committee. And they go through all these people, 40, 50, 100 names. They narrow it down to 3 or 4 people. And then he gets to review the material on those 3 or 4 people. It's not like he knew them all his life.
Right.
It's not like he knows. So you see, it's very easy for those people on the committee to pick somebody, and on paper, resume, they look good.
Well, it's almost like a magician
they're
forcing a
hard.
card on somebody, right?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it. Well, by the way, it's the same thing they've done to us voting.
Right. Good point.
The party system has destroyed America's ability to vote because what they've done, they fixed it to where you and I, Jason, we have a choice for president of only the 1 or 2 people they give us, and if those 2 people are really the same type, doesn't matter. We can choose a lesser of evil.
Right.
That's all we can do.
Right.
So that's what's going to happen. He will be multifaceted attacked. He will be pushed for impeachment immediately, which they will try to stifle any activity he's trying to do on any of the programs he promised or wants to do. So that's the future.
Right. Well, you know, Larry, we're
I
going
promise
to
you it'll be
be
that.
we're doing a slightly shorter show today because I know you've got family to get to and everything, and we're not going to end it just yet. You've got a lot more insights to share with us, but I want to remind everybody that they should go and visit nicholslive.com, where they can read your blog posts and they can support you financially by clicking on that donate button, or by going to paypal.com and using your email address, nicholslive@aol.com. It is important that people support Larry, because if you're listening to this show and joining us each week, you know, Larry is sharing his insights with us. These are first-hand accounts of his experiences with the Clintons and oh, the cold weather seems to have turned off one of my cameras here. Huh. Well, you know, Larry, unfortunately, I've recently had to end a show that is normally happening on Monday nights. You know, we've got the Counter Lawfare Report with Brian Vukadinovich, and Brian has informed me that he wants to stop doing that show because despite the thousands of viewers each episode had, really nobody was sponsoring Brian. Wow, the battery is dead over here. Brian was not getting sponsors on his Patreon channel, and he was really disappointed. So I want to reiterate to everybody that it's really important that we support the guests that come on to Crowdsource the Truth, and you know, whether it's Larry or Brian Vukadinovich or whoever it is, it's really important that we do that. I want to make sure people know that, and Crowdsource the Truth also needs your sponsorship support. You know, in addition to taking out President Trump, Larry, there's a lot of powerful forces trying to take out the financial sponsorship for everything that we're doing here. I've just started an account on Subscribestar, and you know, I think I mentioned to you that Patreon.com has been going through some problems lately. So Subscribestar is a new service that people can use, but unfortunately 1 week after the Patreon dust-up, Subscribestar was shut out by PayPal. So Subscribestar is not currently able to receive any money. And what I've done, Larry, I had a conversation with Mikhail, who is the owner of Subscribestar, and he tells me in about 10 to 12 days they'll be able to receive funds. So what people can do right now is they can go to subscribestar.com/crowdsource the truth, and you can join for free. And then when they get their payment situation sorted out, in 10 to 12 days, people will be able to join us on Subscribestar.
Sounds
So they're
great.
not giving up.
Well, Jason,
Yeah.
you know, Jason, that's the other thing next year is going to bring. They're going to make it incredibly tough on us. Incredibly tough. Anybody that has a story countering the deep state and the progressives and what their agenda is,
Yep.
they're going to shut us down. Remember, this isn't new, folks. This part is not new. Remember Paul Potts. What did they do? They burned books. How did they burn books? Erase any history of what the country should be,
Right.
so that they can totally rewrite this new agenda. That's what they're going to do to us, and that's why we have trouble. You know, folks, it would be a very great special Christmas gift if you would help Jason. It would today.
I appreciate that.
That's the only help we get, Jason. You know, just like your friend on the program before you were talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have any source. And when you devote your life to this, Jason, as you have, as he did, as I have, when you commit, go for it. And say, no, this is my country. I'm not going to let them take it. I'm not.
Yeah.
And it gets tough. And folks, we need your help. Now, are you going to help? Or are you going to sit back and watch?
Yeah,
You watch it.
2019 is
Then
going
watch
to be
it
real
in.
important. Going to be real important,
Yes,
Larry,
it is.
because I think a lot of people are used to watching YouTube for free and using things like Facebook and
Yes.
Twitter for free. But everybody's starting to understand that, you know, these companies are basically, they're not free. You're giving away your choice of who you get to watch. You know, Patreon, they shut down Carl Benjamin for using a word they didn't like. So where does that end? When does that stop? If we don't have alternative methods for getting this word out, we're going to be stuck.
And remember, Jason, they're not giving it to you for free, folks. They're not. They're doing it very underhandedly. Do you realize when you listen to the stuff they want you to hear, and they allow you, quote unquote, to hear something free, watch out. They're selling your name, your email, all the information from you to a whole 100 other companies, and you're worth $1,000 each time. Think about that, folks. They're not doing it free. They're doing it at the expense. You're not paying money. Let me tell you what you are paying. You're paying your privacy.
Yeah.
You're getting harassed now, I bet you, left and right on your cell phone, your home phone. Where do you think these people get all that information?
Yeah.
Get it, and it begins with you. You know, all of it. That's what they do.
So, Larry, do you think we'll see President
help.
Trump take any action to sort of turn back the clock on the Patriot Act and some of these things that are allowing them to spy on us? I mean, he was a subject of it himself, this illegal spying and the FISA court. Why is President Trump not doing anything to act against some of these incredibly draconian laws and invasive things that are destroying privacy in America?
I'm glad you asked. I know for a fact, Jason, you know who I can communicate with periodically.
Yes.
I know for a fact President Trump has tried and continues to try over and over again to stop this kind of stuff. But the problem he has, you've seen it firsthand when he issues an executive order. What does the progressive state do? They run and get one of their judges. They
You're
shut
right.
it down.
Yeah.
So he's hamstrung. He's got to get people around him. He's got to get us around him, Jason. We're the ones that got to put the heat on him. We've got to put the heat on him. Why do you think the people in France put on those silly yellow vests? Why do you think the people in Belgium did it?
Right.
They've had
Fighting
enough.
globalism. Yeah.
Hopefully, they've had enough, hopefully, before it's too late. And the same of y'all. I'm not asking you to get out on the street with a yellow vest yet. But 2019 may come to that. It
You
may
think
come
so?
to that.
It could. You never know, Larry. It seems to be sweeping the globe, this yellow vest phenomenon.
Well, one thing's for certain, Jason. Something's got to happen. This thing is going to explode. Folks, if you can't feel that, you don't have any sensors in reality. This thing cannot continue on. You've got families busted up between people that like Trump and hate him, husbands hate him, wives love him, wives hate him, and husbands love him. You've got an entire community split, and now it becomes, a bad word to probably half of your community. I mean, it's coming. If we don't stop it, then the way to stop it is to help President Trump. And we'll show you how in 2019, very early.
Wow, the cold is really...
Wear a yellow vest.
Yeah, well, it may come to that, as you said, Larry. People may have to be out in the streets with the yellow vests. It's not a terribly cold day here in New York City. It's actually a particularly beautiful Christmas day, but the equipment is not cooperating so much right now. I'm standing outside of Trump Tower right now, Larry, and I don't know if I'll be able to go in there, but we've got some nice Christmas decorations, for people who haven't been to New York City. It's nice to see how the city looks on Christmas Day.
Jason, I hear people all the time talk about, Trump, dirty, he did this, he must have done this, he must have done that. Let me tell you, folks, anybody that has been in the business he's been in, creating multi-story, huge complexes, buildings that touch the sky, you're going to have to play ball. You're going to have to, because you got to deal with inspectors, you got to deal with getting permission, all of those things.
Right.
But remember this. When somebody tells you stuff like that, just say this. We didn't elect him to be Pope.
Right.
But the good news is he's been through the battles. He knows what good business is. That's what he's trying to do for this country. Get us on a sound business footing. That's what we elected him to do. Don't chastise him because he's been there and done that. That's what we elected him for.
A lot of people are concerned about the stock market, Larry. Sorry.
Well, stock market's going to be tough. But on this day, Jason, I tell you all, and I'm sorry I've kind of got into politics, on this blessed day of the birth of Jesus, today we celebrate, remember, if we are walking around, me and you, we're claiming we're Christians. One of the first foundational principles of Christianity is to have the ability to forgive. All right?
Right.
Forgive. God gives us forgiveness. Why can't we pass it on? We've got to work together. We've got to start working together and stop finding things that separate us. There's plenty of things, Jason, in our lives, yours and mine, that would separate us on issues. But there's one issue you and I are doing up on. Saving our country, the right to have the country we live in now. Because somebody, a bunch of people, a bunch of powerful people, a bunch of powerful, mean, and evil people are trying to take it.
Yeah. The next 2 years are definitely going to be critical, Larry. I think people are concerned about the stock market. They're concerned about, if the economy is not strong, it's going to be difficult for Trump to win re-election in 2020. There was some talk maybe last week or the week before that the Republicans were going to nominate somebody else to run for president. Is that possible? Has that ever happened, that an incumbent is not given the nomination?
No. I mean, there have been people that have run against an incumbent within the party, yes.
Right, okay.
But it generally doesn't work out that way.
Right.
Now, what's going to happen on the stock market, so y'all know. When President Trump came in, he came in with the power of a businessman over this nation. And the major investors in the market, I'm talking about the corporate investors, They saw hope for the first time. They saw incredible hope. The market went incredibly up.
Right.
Don't you see, Jason? All this stuff they're doing to whack Trump and to shut him down, those institutional traders, or traders meaning stock market traders, those institutional traders are sitting there going, wait a minute, he ain't going to be able to do what he said. We're back in the old rut.
Right.
That's what they see coming. And so when they see that coming, they see no great future in the market, you see. So it's quite logical. It's coming down. In addition to, we had super inflation in the market, so you have to have some correction. You know, nothing can go up forever. It's got to come down.
Right. Now, there's one other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, Larry. You recall, I'm sure, a few weeks ago, you and I had a special guest on your show here, Laura Loomer. She had discovered some ballots in an Avis rental car. Laura's been a very aggressive investigative journalist and a conservative activist. I saw Laura just the other day. I was in Florida for the Turning Point USA conference, and I met with Laura, and we discussed the possibility of her running for Congress. She lives in Florida, and she was thinking she wants to run against Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Laura's 25 years old, and we looked it up online. That's the minimum age for being a congressional representative. And I told Laura I would ask you what would be involved in her doing that. How would she start a bid to run for Congress?
Well, the first thing she's got to do is announce she is, get her name on the filing. File, you know, get on and file. But everything will hinge, Jason, everything in that lady's life will hinge on whether she can get the money to run.
Right.
In politics at that level, and I want her to win. I mean, I want us to get congressmen and senators, representatives and senators that are truck drivers, waitresses. That's what we should be instead of these professional politicians.
Right.
What's going to happen, Wasserman Schultz? You're going to have millions of dollars to beat her. And remember, he said, well, but when they get after you, if they see Wasserman Schultz getting in trouble, they'll come after her. Your friend. They'll come after her. And remember, now you know for certain it's not Larry Nichols saying it, so you got to believe him. Don't believe me. Look at Kavanaugh. If she gets in, if she starts making a dent,
right,
they'll come at her. When they come at her, it matters not whether it's real or not.
Right.
It will be.
Well, Laura's pretty thick-skinned.
It's a tough road to hold.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully she can get through all the legal and financial. Excuse me. Sorry. Hopefully she can get through all the legal and financial logistics there. You know, I know you've got a lot of experience with polling, Larry. We did a little sort of impromptu, informal poll on Twitter, and in 24 hours, about 4,100 people responded to the question, should Laura Loomer run for Congress? And out of 4,100 people, 94% said yes. What do you think about that?
I think that is a totally weighted poll. You did the same thing that they did to rig polls to make Trump or anybody else look bad.
Right.
Your respondents were obviously connected to you in some way through listening or whatever.
Well, right. They're my Twitter followers, so they're generally pro-Laura.
That's right.
Right.
Right. So don't use that. Laura would have to do in lieu of money, and you can tell her from here, have her call. It's one way. Seen it done before. Not often, but I've seen it done, and this may be the year to do it. Get out. See, the neat thing about running for representative, you've got a small district, and you can go and gumshoe your way through it. Gumshoe means go out and meet people. Meet them. You're going to have to bare your soul to individual after individual after individual. When you meet somebody and you talk to them, Jason, if they don't run you out, you've got their vote.
Right.
And an ad from the nutbags won't steal it from them.
Right.
She'll need to get an early start walking. She's going to have to do it.
Right. You know, Larry, right now we're outside St. Patrick's Cathedral, another great tourist spot in New York City, and a nice thing to be sharing with people here on Christmas Day. It's right across the street from Rockefeller Center. So I know you've got some family to get to, so we'll try and wrap it up pretty soon here. So as far as you know, according to Bill Clinton, no familial relationship with the Rockefellers.
That's right.
But he looks exactly
That's right.
like John Podesta. That's so weird. When's the first time you came to know John Podesta?
Probably in the mid-'80s, maybe.
Huh. Wow.
Maybe early '80s.
Wow. So he's really been around the Clintons for a long time. I think most people didn't hear too much about him until the 2016 election. No. Podesta's been with us long. Hey. All right, my wife Jason's giving me the high sign this time. Time to go? All right,
Adios.
Larry. I get it.
Yeah.
No problem. Merry Christmas to you, Larry. Thanks for joining me today. I want to remind everybody that they can go and visit Nichols Live and support Larry. Go to nicholslive.com. You can support him financially through PayPal. Nichols Live at AOL is the address to use. Larry joins me every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and this was a special early edition Christmas show. Larry, Merry Christmas. I hope you and your family have a great time. I'll speak to you next week.
You bet. Merry Christmas to you all. Thank you.
Take care, Larry. All right, everybody, it's pretty crowded here. I think I might try and make my way. Well, that might be it for the Christmas show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to remind people you can support Crowdsource the Truth by becoming a sponsor. If you go to patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth and become a monthly sponsor. I am working on alternatives to Patreon. It's very disconcerting that they don't seem to stand by the First Amendment at all. There have been a number of people that have been having phone calls with Patreon. There was a New York Times article that just came out that looked very much like a puff piece promoting Patreon. I was disappointed to see Jack Conte digging in rather than showing some concern for the First Amendment. There's a number of topics that they like to talk about. Look at this Lego set.
I know.
I guess that's Harry Potter or something, but that's pretty impressive. This is the Lego store here by Rockefeller Plaza. Oh, there we go. We can see people ice skating now. So for people who haven't been to New York City and haven't seen the ice skating rink, you got it right there. That was nice to have Larry with us on Christmas. But again, we'll be starting some alternatives to Patreon as soon as possible. Mikhail from Subscribestar tells me in 10 to 12 days they should have their payment processing back up. I did have a little bit of a conversation with him. It is impossible for them to receive money right now, so only free posts can go up there, and people can join for free at subscribestar.com. I hope people will go there. I'm going to be looking into starting a subscription service on Vimeo. I'm going to be looking into some other options as well. There is an alternative to PayPal called Payoneer. So people can look into joining that if they'd like, and we're going to keep pressing forward in 2019. Not going to allow them to shut this kind of thing down, and we're going to keep bringing everybody interesting news and wonderful guests and the sights and sounds from New York City and around the country and around the world. I hope to be visiting some of my international friends, including Ole Damagard. Want to try to do some more broadcasts with Joanne and Jimmy Moriarty. And want to try to go and visit some of our friends who are stationed around the country, perhaps Cody Snodgrass, and all of that work is obviously going to require travel. That requires your support, so I hope that people will continue to support Crowdsource the Truth. I hope everybody will have a great Christmas wherever you are, and happy holidays. I will see everybody tomorrow. Charles Ortel will be closing in. Thanks for watching, everybody.